Hello, everyone. I'm Isabella from Benham and Reeves. Thank you for coming to today's webinar, where I would touch on the Reading's property market and why Reading has been one of the top spots for investments in the UK. We're also delighted to have Bradley from the Berkeley Group to give us an update on developments in Reading. So why Reading? Why is Reading one of the top places to invest in the UK? Reading has one of the largest concentration of businesses in the UK with the positive economic outlook. It has been rated the second best place for work productivity and the sixth highest employment rate in the UK. Reading benefits from the excellent transport connectivity, and this has served to make the town a hit for both young professionals and seasoned commuters alike. By train, you can reach London from Reading in as short as 25 minutes, earning Reading a well-deserved place at the heart of the affluent commuter belt, with the Elizabeth Line and Crossroad behind it as well. Global transport hub Heathrow Airport is also easily accessible, with the M4 motorway runs nearby as well. Dubbed as the Silicon Valley of the UK, Reading has transformed from a manufacturing center into a hub for IT, telecom, tech, and digital businesses within the last few decades. They continue to attract real estate investment with the increased demand for tech and digital jobs. Top brands such as Microsoft, Cisco, Oracle have offices set up in Reading already. These factors, along the affordable starting price of the new builds, attractive yields of over 5% further make Reading an ideal place to invest in. So to touch on a bit of the housing market and the rental market as well. Reading has a stable and resilient market. House prices in Reading this year are expected to increase for up to 4%, consistent with the national trends. With flats and apartments presenting the highest change at 4%, the highest amongst the other types of houses, as you can see in the chart here. So according to Rightmove, currently in Reading, the average property price is £404,080. And this has been contributed by the continued demand for commuters and families, along with the regeneration project and investments coming into Reading. With the average London property price at £556,000, so around about 35% more than Reading, this presents a great opportunity for buyers looking to buy in the UK, especially for those looking into the market for the first time. So with the businesses and investments coming into Reading, the rental market has been as strong as ever. The rental prices have increased from 11.6% from last year. And the growth continues. The rental market is forecasted to rise up to 5% this year, with the average 1 to 2 bed rents seeing the highest growth, as you can see in this chart here as well. Voids are minimal and tenancies are usually secured within a week of the property going to the market, with high renewal rates as tenants do commit to a longer term tenancy, staying in the property for at least 2 years. And this has been tried and tested. I do have clients who have bought in Reading, and the clients have been enjoying a very high yield with a very high tenancy renewal rate as well. But what makes Reading so popular amongst locals and investors? One of the major things that places Reading on the map is a huge transportation investment poured into the place. Over £900 million in investment has been poured into Reading transportation and infrastructure, with over 200 trains a day to London via the National Rail and Elizabeth Line. Being able to reach Paddington Station in 23 minutes and even Canary Wharf in just an hour. With the improved infrastructure, people do not need to live in the capital city or city center anymore, or London anymore, because they would prefer to have the balance of the two, having more open spaces and more affordable rents or even starting prices of property. And the other factor is access to top-tier education. So Reading is home to the 26th university in the UK, the University of Reading. High-achieving state grammar schools such as Reading School and Kendrick School, and other outstanding Ofsted school as well. Hence, you would have all these young professionals and families wanting to live and rent in Reading. Students usually would stay on in Reading as well if we're looking for employment, even if they work in London, because it's an easy commute. And it has been found that people that study in Reading usually stay on for a couple more years to look for employment, even if they work in London because of all the transportation accessibility. I do have one ex-colleague that I used to work with. He started his journey in the UK in Reading. He studied in Reading and also bought something in Reading. And now he works in London, but still stays in Reading. And his property has enjoyed increased capital growth. So given all the regeneration, investment, and education aspect of Reading, it has attracted a lot of individuals and companies looking to base themselves in Reading. That would mean there's a strong caliber of tenants, such as professional tenants working for the big companies, as well as professionals working in London taking advantage of the transportation links and affordable rents in Reading. And as well as the students studying in a nearby university in Reading and families choosing to rent close to the schools in Reading. And good news, we at Benham and Reeves already have corporate tenants waiting to rent in Reading. We do have a designated Japan desk that has been contacted by major Japanese companies, and they plan on sending 100 expats from Japan. And majority of them are looking at new build properties, focusing on 1 to 2 beds. So if you do have a property in Reading or are thinking about investing in Reading, you don't have to worry, we already have a tenant waiting for you. So to wrap this all up, just going through the investment checklist, Reading remains one of the most attractive towns for property investment in the Southeast, offering a combination of strong rental yields and steady capital growth. Rising demand for rental properties driven by the town's thriving economy and excellent transport links creates opportunities for reliable returns. Having good professional tenants found by us at Benham and Reeves, and having the property professionally managed by us as well at Benham and Reeves. With all these in mind, Reading ticks all the boxes. So just a little bit more about Benham and Reeves as a company. So we do have 65 years of experience in London and already have 21 London local branches. We also have 14 international offices, one particular in Hong Kong looking after our clients. And we do have a 92% client retention rate, which means that our clients are quite loyal to us and do stay with us. And we just have over 3,000 plus fully managed properties today. So we do provide an end-to-end service. So we provide advice from purchase to installing the furnishings, to lettings and management, and to tax returns. And eventually, if you want to exit the market and sell your property as well, we're able to help on the ground, on your time zone, in your language. So for now, I'm going to pass the stage to Bradley, who's going to talk more about Reading and some of the developments that Berkeley has on offer, and also some of the lifestyle aspects of Reading. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Isabella. My name is Bradley Wilkinson. I'm the sales manager for St Edward Homes at Bankside Gardens, part of the Berkeley Group. And I think Isabella has introduced Reading very well. And we would just like to touch on the unique aspects of Bankside Gardens, which sits in Reading, of one of the premier developments of the town. So Isabella has touched on quite a few of the reasons why Reading is an exceptional place to live, but we have great connectivity. We're close to top-ranked education. We have it's rare for developments outside of London to have exceptional resident facilities, unless it's a Berkeley Group development that provides first-class amenities. So that's another reason. Fantastic investment opportunity. But we have open spaces. We have a 1.2-acre lake on the development, and it's a place where families can come and essentially thrive and expand. And we're home, essentially adjacent to the Green Park Business Park, which is home to over 9,000 employees and some of the biggest multinational corporations that currently operate in tech. So these are just some of the facilities that are on offer at the development. You know, private cinema for residents to utilize. There is a residence concierge, which is 12 hours daily, and we have a fully equipped gym which occupies the entire top floor of the residence club 51. So again, these types of facilities are just not really seen outside of London unless you're looking at something which is within the Berkeley Group. We also have a co-working studio and a meeting room as well, which residents can enjoy. And as we can see by this map, you know, Reading is directly connected to London and beyond by way of car or train, including Crossrail. And this development shot gives us an opportunity to show in full the approximately 60 acres of land that we currently occupy. There's just over 1,179 homes, and we have an on-site primary school, and as I mentioned, the lake which divides the two developments in Green Park Village and Bankside Gardens. So it's a really good shot to show that we are surrounded by so much open green space, open air, tranquility, but yet we're very well connected to the centre of Reading town by way of our on-site train station. So Reading Green Park opened in 2023, and it provides direct access to Reading Town Centre and in the opposite direction, Basingstoke. And now this serves our residents as well as the employees who occupy at the Green Park Business Park. And then from this slide, this is kind of again touching on what Isabella said. Reading is a hub of the southeast and is connected to other major areas of the UK, including London, Oxford, and even parts down the M4 corridor going towards Bath, Bristol, and even South Wales. Whether it be by train or car, the development is very well connected to that. As you can see, we've got Crossrail, which only 23 minutes into London Paddington. And some of the multinational corporations we can see here, such as Microsoft, Cisco, Thales, Oracle, and Free. We also have Wood PLC, who are based on the development now. So there is a lot of, and Reading offers a very competitive salary outside of that of London, which will create a demand for quality housing, whether it be for owner occupiers or tenants. So it's one thing that we have is a fantastic development which can offer exactly that. And then there's just some of the reasons which, again, I know Isabella has touched on already, but just what some of the reasons why to invest at Bankside Gardens. We have very strong rental yields on the development, which some exceed 6%. Reading, as we know, is one of the fastest growing local economies over the next 3 years. We have the on-site train station, which is just allowing you 6 minutes into Reading town centre, and we have some amazing resident facilities that are enjoyed at the moment as a development which is built complete and ready to occupy. And there's also going to be some, we've looked at some of the data which suggests that there is going to be future growth, and that's born off of the fact that we have seen price growth in Reading over the last 10 years of about 33%, but anywhere between 15 and 70% in the southeast over the next 5 years, means that investing here in Bankside Gardens is going to put investors or owner occupiers in a very good position if they pick up a very high quality home with attractive rental yields. And then this slide just highlights kind of what we were talking about in terms of, the competitive salary outside of London. And there is actually a young pool of willing, working young professionals on very good salaries who want to stay in the Reading and build their life. So it's a very good opportunity. Now, specifically for what we have available, so we have here number 2 Bankside Gardens, which is a block of 40 apartments, 11 one-bedrooms and 29 two-bedrooms, so 40 in total, with an estimated service charge of about £4.30 per square foot. Benefit of purchasing here is that 1 parking space is included with every purchase, and it's not an additional cost that you have to consider. With a 999-year lease from January 2016 and build complete and ready to occupy. And we have a typical apartment, 1-bedroom apartment with an internal face here on our first floor at £275,000. But with an estimated rental of £1,425 per month, it's about a 6.2% gross yield. However, what I do know is since producing this, that some of the 1-bedrooms in other buildings have let for more than this. So the actual yield should have improved. And then looking at a typical 2-bedroom apartment, this apartment here is 737 square feet, or about 68 square meters, just over £400,000, and obviously giving us lake views as well. But again, if this was going to be a rental investment, then you're estimating up to £2,000 in rent, which is about 5.78%. But again, we know that we're achieving close to these values. So, and lots of the timeline to secure tenants is sort of within that sort of 2-week to 3-week period. And that's it for essentially Bankside Gardens and what we have and how that links into the wider Reading. So I'd like to thank Isabella and the team at Benham for inviting me to join this panel and just to showcase Bankside Gardens and what a fantastic development this is in the heart of Reading.
Thank you, Bradley. So we have our question and answer portion now. And for those who have missed or would like to replay of our webinar or just get in touch with us, feel free to scan this QR code for more information. So thank you again for tuning in. So we're open to any questions at the moment.
So it looks like we have our first question.
Yeah, here.
Yeah.
Yep. Go ahead.
So the last train from Reading Green Park will depart either Basingstoke or Reading approximately minutes to midnight. So between sort of that 11:30 and 11:45 would be the last train.
One question as well. Can we purchase additional car park? Is the car park covered?
Okay. So in terms of the car park, so it's one-to-one parking at this stage. There is visitor parking for a short period of time for residents. There is a station car park which offer permits at an additional cost or a pay and display service. If there is any additional parking in the future, St Edward would make it known to all of the residents that there is an option to purchase additional spaces. But at this moment in time, unfortunately not. Turnaround time to get tenant. So if I was to center it around Bankside Gardens, so the one bedrooms of late have experienced a turnaround time within a week. And I know specifically of two investors who purchased and uh, achieved lets on their apartments within 48 hours of them going live on the market. With the two-bedroom apartments, this may extend to, I'd say, at this moment in time, about 2 weeks.
And just to add on to Bradley's answer, in general, in Reading, usually the turnaround time is about a week, but usually it gets snapped up quite quickly especially if you own a one bed or a two bed.
In terms of the Ofsted rating for the on-site schools, so Green Park Village Primary Academy has been rated good by Ofsted. It was first assessed in 2023, and then it was assessed again in 2024.
So the next question, are attendants mostly students or families? It's a mix of both. So there's, as I mentioned a while ago, there's the University of Reading students who live in the area, and you also have the young professional families that live in the area because they want to be close to the good schools and the offset schools around. And the next question, do you know how many new developments are planned to be built in Reading in the next 5 years?
In terms of Barclay Group, I do. There's one. In terms of any other developers, I would need to go back and look at the planning portal to see what applications there are. But keeping it to Barclay Group, there is one other development that will be built.
The next question, do I need to provide furniture when renting out? Yes, we usually recommend our clients to provide furniture when they're renting it out, especially if it's a one bed or a two bed. Good news is at Benham and Reeves, we do have a sister company called Install Direct who can help you throughout the process. So you don't have to worry about picking your own furniture. We can do that all for you as well in-house.
And I've worked with Isabella and Benham Marie's team to assist landlords in securing tenants and obviously with the furniture and design. But I would say that sometimes it can actually be the opposite, and tenants actually have their own furniture. But whichever way the tenant leads, Benham and Reeves are well placed to assist any landlords in providing furniture. It generally helps to get more rental return as well, and in terms of price. Besides the train, yes. So there are buses that come in and out of development and actually stop at the station itself. So there is the number 9 and the number 50, and these will take residents from Green Park to other areas of Reading, including the town centre. And one of the buses will go very close to the Reading University.
So Bradley, any incentives for Bankside Garden?
The short answer is yes. We are a developer that can be very flexible and meet most of our clients' needs. So I'll be happy to discuss any specific requirements with regards to any of our properties.
Does it have a lift in the building?
So on Bankside Gardens, each building has a lift, yes. And in terms of closer supermarkets, so there is an on-site Tesco Express for your daily newspaper, milk, grocery, shopping, snacks. But if you want to do a larger shopping, there is a Morrison's that is within a 5-minute drive of the development. That's a superstore. There is a number of retail parks. So you have a B&Q for homeware and some furnishings. You also have a Currys for technical and appliances. You have dare I say TK Maxx if you want to do a bit of shopping. But Reading Town Centre also has, you have more shopping centres. So like you have Waitrose, you have Aldi and Sainsbury's, I believe. So there's many supermarkets in Reading Town Centre, all within, I would say, a 10-minute drive.
I think that's it for the questions. But thank you everyone for tuning in, and thank you, Bradley, for sharing Bankside Gardens. And I'm sure we'll get a lot of leads coming through, and also clients asking questions about the development and Reading itself. As mentioned a while ago, if you have missed the webinar and you'd like a replay of the webinar, there is a QR code here on the screen, so you can scan this and you can watch the replay. Or if you have any questions at all, feel free to get in touch with us at Benham and Reeves. Thank you so much.